Okay, now to the last part of the tutorial, working on papers in Citavi. Naturally, if you work on papers, you have to read them, so there's some certain amount of work that you have to do, but Citavi can help you with that. And first of all, you can create citations in Citavi, and then you can add the citations into Word. The first part is sort of what Citavi offers you, the second part is more what I'm going to talk about how I do it, so maybe it will be helpful. And this is another program, sorry for that. Okay, I've just opened the first Citavi project, the simple one with only 3 papers, and we've already looked at the right column where you have categories or keywords. The second column is the list of the papers. The third column is an overview with different tabs regarding one specific piece of literature, one paper, one reference with overview and references. And the last one is the preview. And you can totally move these 4 different columns. Now I've extended the third one. You can extend the literature list or the categories depending on the size of your screen and on what you currently need to have. And what's important now is the specific literature reference column, so the third one. So I'm going to enlarge this one and the preview. And if you have a reference, then you're going to probably have a preview, a website where you have this is the standard setting. If you have connection to the internet, then you will see the summary and things like this. And since we've already added a file, you can now click on the file and see preview of the file. And what I usually do is that when I want to read a file, that I open it. You can also read it in the preview, but right, where is it? Here it is, open preview, and scroll around, enlarge it. But that's not so easy. Marking things is, I think it's also possible, but it's difficult. No, I don't think it's possible. But in any case, it's easier to read it in a PDF. So this is how I do it. And if I see something that I want to note, then I highlight it. You can use different colors. This is not purely Citavi, it's sort of a mix of different programs, but I think it makes sense to show you how you can combine the programs to work effectively together. Yeah, you can use different colors, like green, depending on what you want to do. Maybe this is a reference to another article, so everything related to game theory I'm marking in green, or something like that. And what I would do is just save this after I've read everything, or read as far as I want to read. Then what I do is that I copy the specific area, for example, this. This is on page 1. I close this file. And now here I can add quotations in the 5th tab. It's a direct quotation. I can add a text. Into this. It's not formatted very beautifully, but the text is there. If I want, I can naturally remove the spacings like this. And then I can give a call statement, like, I don't know, I can even format things if I want to format them in any way. And I can write a page range. So 1 to 5, or in this case, this is a journal article. So the first page is 1133. And I can also add a range or anything else. I can also add keywords, and I also get recommendations on which keywords I already have, so I just have to start typing, and of course categories also. And then if I sort the categories, if I look at the categories, I can also find citations. If I don't know which categories I have or keywords I have, I can just click on them and then I can select them. Here I don't have categories, but that would be how it works normally. So I'm just going to add a new category. Just to illustrate. So now I've got a citation. I can also add summaries, images or pictures, indirect quotations, anything I want. And if I click on this, and if I open the seminar paper, well, this one is already formatted, so I would have to do this with a seminar paper that I haven't formatted yet. This one. Then I can just add, apparently that didn't work quite well. Add the pasted, add the quotation here, and then first of all I have the content, and I also have the specific code. And at the end, if I format this, I'm just going to do it very quickly, then this is what I get. The code, and I have the page and the page number. So this is very helpful when citing articles. And what I personally do is that I read an article, I read a paper in PDF, I mark everything in this paper that I think is relevant. Then, after I'm done with reading this paper, I copy all the, I put everything into Citavi. After that, I copy all Citavi quotes into one text document. And I have a text document full of literature that, full of text that I would like to use. And I don't have the problem that the text is, that the reference is lost. I have the references with the text. Then I try to sort it, and then I try to reframe it. And mostly, something like this will be reduced to one short sentence, like this. And yeah, then it wouldn't be formatted yet. But then I would have a lot of correct citations, sorted in the perfect way, and with the right references behind them, and even the right page numbers, if this is required. So if this is what you want to do, then this is one way of doing it, and this can be very helpful, because the thing is, if once you've done this in Citavi, you can easily look for citations, text areas, and you just have to go to categories, look via categories, or look via keywords you can search. And this is impossible if you do it manually by marking texts, or even if you do it digitally, it's difficult, because then you can't see the summary. Here I have a perfect summary, and you can even search for look at the summary and search for the summary. So that's how you can work with Citavi in Word. Create citations of each article. And for example, you could have an article that is, it's about corruption in finance, but there's one citation that is on corruption and growth, and then you can easily rearrange and interlink the content. So you don't have to copy it to the growth literature, corruption growth literature, but you can keep it in the finance literature, in the finance category, the article as a whole, and only take one citation and put it into the growth category. Okay, so much for that.